This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Hey, Vsauce!
Karu here. What if for your entire life, the universe revolved around you? That you believed yourself to be the center of everything? This is what people believed back in the 1400s when the term geocentrism was generally accepted as the truth. That the Earth was at the center of the universe and everything moved around it. Keep in mind, these were the people that believed they got to Japan by boat. Holy shit, we actually made it! Konnichiwa minasan. Toire wa doko desu ka?
Mira bien, hijo de tu puta madre. Soy mencho, güey.
But as we all know today, that's not how it works. The Earth isn't at the center, the sun is. Yet, believing such things back then would either get you imprisoned for heresy for going against the church, or worse, if this was your second offense, it would lead to them burning your shit alive. I don't know about you, I don't give a fuck what's at the center. It could be God's toenail if it means I don't have to be a roast pig at Ling Shang's hawker stall. My question is, how did we manage to correct that? Surely death is a strong enough deterrent for anyone to stop what they're doing, so how were we able to establish the truth despite that? To know what we know now? Simple. People never stopped, even in the face of death. Rafal is a young boy living in a predominantly Catholic Poland, and during that time they believed that at the center of the universe lies two things: the Earth and God's never-ending love. See, this kid gets it. They do this because it helps to keep people in line. A fear-mongering strategy to explain the crimes and general sinning in the world. Since the Earth is at the center, presumably at the bottom, all the astronomical shit, piss, and cum rains down on us, making us evil. As long as you put your faith in God, one day he'll get on his smurf and dual queue with you to bring you out of this hellhole and boost you to heaven. Rafal is one of the many who subscribe to this belief. At the tender age of 12, he was already granted to go to university to study the Bible. He's a smart kid. At his age, I was trash-talking fully grown men in League of Legends. We are not the same. But Rafal is also street smart.
大変申し訳ないが、この世はバカばっかだ。
Growing up from poverty, he found that whenever he followed the status quo and basically lied about what people wanted to hear, he would be showered with love and admiration. To live a comfy life, all he had to do was devote himself to theology and discard his curiosity. Enter Hubert, a scholar who was imprisoned for going against the church, because he believed it's not the Earth that's in the center, but the sun. He passes this idea to Rafal, and initially Rafal dismisses the crazy heretic's claims, saying it goes against God's will. But as he tries to disprove it, more and more it starts to make sense.
この説を美しいと思ってしまう。合ってるかも。
You know what else is true? That now is the best time to play Raid Shadow Legends, baby! After years of fine-tuning and improvement, the game has so much depth and strategy now. So to help you start your journey, Raid has a limited time offer where they're giving new players 2 epic champions and a legendary champion for free on top of in-game loot. Vergis is considered by many as the top 3 epics in the game. His abilities are centered around shielding your team against powerful monsters while also dishing out tons of damage. While Rector Drath is one of the best supports in the game who can buff, heal, and revive her team. She can pretty much slot into any lineup. But that's not all, because Sun Wukong is also available for all new players who sign up now. And for any newcomers, my best advice would be to complete the quests and challenges as fast as you can, so that you level up quicker and get a better grasp of the game. You can download Raid on mobile, PC, and Mac using my link in the description, or scan the QR code to get this starter pack, and this pack when you hit level 25. You're so welcome. And thank you to Raid for sponsoring today's video. I'll be honest, I had doubts about putting this video out because it's not an easy show to pitch. I can't just slap some crazy action scene or a super hot character to draw you in. I have to hope the concept is interesting enough for you to give it a try. This show does an incredible job of putting you inside the character's shoes, particularly at a showing and telling aspect. There's one scene where this guy explains the reason for Mars's irregular movement pattern, why it moves backwards and then suddenly forwards. Using just a stick and 2 guys, 2 guys, 1 stick, he concludes that it's because the Earth moves at a quicker pace. Think about it. If I run up to you while you're walking, then the closer I get, the slower you appear to be until we're totally side by side, and for a brief moment, it seems like you move back as I'm passing you. It's only when I'm completely in front that you look to be moving forward again. This explains that the Earth isn't fixed at the center, but instead moves in a circle with other planets around the sun. That's common sense to us now, but what makes this scene so impressive is that these people were living in an era before technology. We often seem to forget that people back then couldn't rely on anything to study the stars. They didn't even have telescopes back then. They were invented in the 1600s. All they had was a pen, some paper, and a good set of peepers. Deadass, that's one of the things they compliment you on in the anime. You have good eyes. You're basically cooked if you have anything worse than 2020. Yet it's this feeling of solving a difficult math problem that they're able to distill and capture the essence of that makes it so addicting to me. You don't even have to know what they're saying most of the time. Like, Rafal could be going on some nerdy shit about Ptolemy's model, and in order to apply it to the heliocentric theory, he would have to expand the epicycle radius of the planets thought to be beyond the sun to equal the... And in my head, I'll just be thinking, okay, the sun is Big Chungus and planets spin around it like an idea that's reinforced time after time in this anime is the passing of the torch. We see it first when Rafal meets Hubert, and Hubert passes on his knowledge of heliocentrism to him. However, keen observers may have also noticed that there's more than one MC. Oxy, Grass, Badeni, and Yolenta are all equally important to this story and are imparted with the same knowledge, albeit from different people, creating this extremely loose, barely visible but tangible string that connects them all together. There's a scene where someone says, "Inspiration is more important than a lifespan. So, faced with this choice, I will gladly sacrifice my life to let inspiration survive." This is one of the biggest messages that the anime wants to leave. That no matter where you are at whatever time period you're in, the knowledge and value that you impart in this world will have an effect on someone in the future, whenever that may be. I wonder what I will leave in this world. Konnichiwa minasan, toire wa doko desu ka? All the astronomical shit, piss, and cum. The sun is Big Chungus and planets spin around it like... Oxy is a hired duelist who's pretty much paid to kill. Because of his religion, he believes that the earth is ugly and full of sin, a place fitting for filth like him, and that heaven is where true happiness is. That makes him dread his very existence as he's killed countless other people. He believes that he'll be going to hell, so he can't even bear to look at the stars because he's afraid that the heavens are judging him. But maybe, just maybe, if he understands the world a bit more, he'll come to learn that it's not as ugly and imperfect as people say it is. Then there's Yolenta. Yolenta is a lot like Rafal in the sense that they're both genius young prodigies. The only problem is, Yolenta is a girl, so no matter how smart she is, she's denied access to any further knowledge simply because of her gender. I don't have to tell you why this is wrong by a metric fuck ton, but maybe, just maybe, this knowledge she receives could finally help her to leave her mark in history. That is... It's surprising I've spent this much time talking and never even mentioned this guy. Novak is an agent hired by the church to silence anyone who poses a threat to them. He's basically medieval John Wick and is the only antagonist in this show, which speaks volumes to how scary he truly is. That being said, I don't think he does it for fun. He's not one of those cartoony, over-the-top, evil for the sake of evil villains. He's just a guy with a selfish goal of wanting to keep the world safe for his family. I can't fault him for that, but this is what happens when you don't question anything and take everything at face value. Novak is the product of conformity, conforming to society at the time. He even says it himself. Why would you ever doubt the church when all you have to do... Sorry, so that was me trying to be Nanami, because it's Nanami's voice actor. Let me try again. Why would you ever doubt the church when all you have to do... Why would you ever doubt the church when all you have to do is fall in line? At the prospect of experiencing paradise after you pass on. Look, I'm not even saying he's wrong for thinking like that. You would too if this is what you're potentially facing.
こいつが口の中で4回転もすれば頬は裂けて1年は喋れなくなる。
Imagine getting caught by the Japanese government for pirating anime. So, today we will use the pair of anguish. I'm sorry, the what? Pair of anguish. What's that? Pour down your pants. Now, so far there's been a bunch of yapping and a lot of deep cut shit. Don't get it twisted. Every now and then we'll get a brief but intense action scene that comes out of nowhere. I was totally fine if this anime was all talk given how interesting it is, but damn, they can even make a good action sequence? This is when you realize that apart from being well written, Orb is also really well animated. If you can see it most of the time. I saw some people say that the anime was too dark, not in the metaphorical sense, more in the I literally can't see anything sense. Me personally, I never saw a problem with it because I watch in an isolation chamber with no lights, so experiences will vary. The comedy is also surprisingly funny. Yes, there is comedy in this show. Not a lot. It's used once in a blue moon to cut tension whenever it gets too serious or to move to a new topic. That was just something that genuinely shocked me when it came up, so I had to mention it. Every once in a while, I love indulging in shows like this because it makes me feel arrogantly smart. I'm kidding. Yes, it's nice to sit back and let beautiful animation spike my dopamine or let a romance anime tug at my heartstrings, but shows like Orb remind me that you can create a working masterpiece out of anything as long as you present it well. And that's probably the hardest thing an author can do. How many times have you seen an anime with a phenomenal premise get butt-fucked by terrible execution? It takes an even greater skill to make niche topics like astronomy interesting, but they managed to do that with Orb. I'm so glad we get to finish the whole story in 25 episodes. I will be following this till the very end. Until then, please go watch the show and I'll see you on the next one.